because I have to make sure that the camera and everything sits in where you guys can see it. I'm gonna lay the iPad flat. I think it'll make it easier. Oops. Let's see. Can I do this and still see it all? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna move that down a little bit. Move the iPad up. So one of the things I like to do, but you don't have to do all that clearing. You could just go into here. Oops. I don't want to record that. Well, let me stop this over here for a second so I can focus. All right. Go in, shift, and I just put a new drum. Well, I was going to put a drum in there, but I want to clear out this stuff. So I do wish they would put a initial patch in here. I can't see your comments yet, so give me a second because I haven't set up that portion. But I'm going to get all this cleared. I should have cleared this before. Like, just give me a blank. I may have to save one is what I probably need to do. I'm going to do that after this stream. Yeah, I'll do it now. Make my life easier, right? Don't press play. I don't want to do that. Go back. So everything, let's just make sure before I do this, so I don't have to do it twice. It's clear. Perfect. So we're going to go here. What? I thought I cleared. Oh, I cleared on 2. Let's say. All right, save, shift here, and we're just going to go rename. And we'll just call this I can't see. This little work will save me down the road, so I don't have to do this again. Just need to save it once, and then I can load it in. One of the things I wish they would do is let me add templates in. INT. Okay, and then a space there. They need to put one of these in, just a blank one, so that people can choose their own. Because I'm not saying their drums are terrible, but maybe I am saying they're terrible. They're just not something I would personally use. Oh, delete. Drum. What should I call it? Initial drum sampler. I'll just leave it as this because I don't want to have to come back and name a ton. So now that's saved. And then we could just go back to the track. And then if you hold this down, hit copy over here, hold this one down, paste. So now we got 2 blank ones. All right, so now I can just start putting in whatever sounds I want. You could do that over across the whole thing if you wanted to. Let me set this computer up so if somebody's in here watching, I can actually see it. Because I don't know if anybody is or not. Video link, make sure the volume is off. Yep, it's off. Okay, so far I see 0 people. That's good. I mean, that's not good, but it's a good start. So you didn't have to worry about watching me do all this extra stuff if people decide to show up. So today I'm going to use the iPad to, and I found this setting on the phone. Like when you go into the YouTube now, I can actually shine light down and use the light. So I don't have to use another light that fails every now and then. And I get more clarity here. Hopefully it's not too bright, but I think it looks pretty good on the camera. I'm watching it on YouTube myself just to see. So we should have 1 in here. That's me. Yep, they're in there. Okay, so I'm exploring. So Playbeat is a cool program. I got it. I don't remember when I got this thing. And they had a lot of free things that they were giving, and then I bought like a few of them, But this is a Venus theory, and I literally just randomized till I hear something I like. And then I have my BPM set 74. I highly suggest you using this guy to set your BPM the same. Some people don't like to click on. I do initially, and plus you can turn the volume down if you want it lower, so it's not that bad. Doesn't annoy me at all. But in order to hear sound, I have to turn on the sampler, right? Or this guy over here. So you just press that, let it play. When you're ready to record something, select the pad you want, and then start recording in. So one of the things that I like to do too is get a timing. So if I'm gonna do a 2 bar loop, then I need to I watch the timing over here on this while it's playing for 2 bars, so I know where to cut it. And kind of like I've done in Koala and other things, I'll let it play to the next bar. So if I'm gonna do 2 bars, it's gonna play to the start of the third bar, so I know where to chop the sample. That's just how I function. That's my mind, right? Everybody's mind is different how they like to function. And I would zoom in closer to this, but the problem is it might wash it out and you probably wouldn't see some of the iPads, but I'll try it a little bit. Let's scoot it over this way a little bit more. Just want you to be able to see the items. All right, so we have play beat on one. That will play when I hit the trigger up here. And I'm using it as just like a little texture percussion. If you want to go ahead and do your reverb, that's how I usually do. I put my reverb in. I use EOS on iPad. I use EOS, and I'll usually do the ambient and drop it down like 10%. That's kind of how I do with Valhalla on desktop. Same thing over here. I like my reverb. So on the percussion a little bit. They have some, I think, room reverb, but I usually just come over, put a little ambient, drop it down to about 10%. Same principle. And this one I'll play. So, so then I'll play this. And I like to do about 4 bars. So that will be the fourth bar right there. You could time the loop and record it if you wanted to that way and have a perfect loop, drop it in, but you can't just drop it in, right? So it's a process. You got to go through the computer and all that right now. If it was an app on here where it was quick, that'd be one thing, but since it's not, I'm just going to record it. So you select the pad, hold down record, and then start your track. So in order for me to be able to do this, I need this to trigger. I need both of these to trigger by the play, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. So let's see, connect MIDI source. I wonder if I connect it here, will it just automatically play? Let's just try this. It does. That's crazy. It's controlling something off of here. I don't know what it's controlling though in reference to that, so I'm not going to do that. So I could do these loops separate, excuse me, separate. So I'm going to record this one first on one, and then I'll put the other one on the other. Hold it down, and it's going to record into here. And you just watch it up here. All right, so I heard it right there. And then when you go out, you can go in and adjust it. Now, because they don't have a playhead, oh, I'm sorry, this is still going. Why is it still going? Okay, I'm not sure why that's still going. So I don't know where it's starting and stopping. Okay, so I did hear the ending part. So you could go in and loop it, but before I even loop it, I need to know where. So let's see. I'm not going to pitch it. I'm going to just bring this down here so I can see where the end is. I'm going to assume. You can zoom in. See, I don't know. It's moving so slow. I don't know. They definitely got to make this a little more easy to do. Um, all right, cool. I think that's where I want it. And then we'll just stretch this back out. And that should loop. The longer the sample is going to be more challenging with this thing. There's a loop there if I just want to test it. We'll see if it loops. I think it just looped. Sounds pretty good. All right, cool. It loops. All right, so now I have a 4-bar. If you wanted to go ahead and put this in, you could. I'm gonna yeah, because we got to set the 4. I'm gonna leave the quantize on this one because I just wanted to be on. I don't really have a reason to put it off. If I was gonna adjust something, I adjust in here. So now we could do the shaker part. So go back in, make sure you select a different one or you're gonna record over the same one. And now, all right, I'm ready. So I don't need a lot of this. I'm only gonna do 2 bars of this. Now this one, because I'm playing it in, I'm gonna have to watch it, but I can kind of time 2 bars. It's not that complicated. That's good enough. All right, back here, now we'll find out where it is. So put it on gate is actually better than one shot. That's what I had it on before. That was the problem. So gate only holds as long as I hold it. I like that better personally. And I think about right here is where I want to be. See if that loops. Yep, there you go. All right, cool. Oh, let me turn off the loop. So if you wanted to play all the way through, make sure you one shot it, which is the arrow with the, you can't see that probably. This writing is very small on my eyes, so I know it's gonna be small on yours if you don't see it. But if you wanted to only play for as long as you hold it, then you want to put it on the one that's just the arrow, right? So that's kind of how it works. All right, so these are on the same track. That doesn't really mean much to me because if you hit this button and hit the record, now you see where it starts. Not that I didn't know that already that it started there. I'm showing you, but because this is set to 4 bars, or no, it isn't. I only have it set to 1. What did I do there? I'm gonna set it to 4 bars like that. Use the plus. Now I at least know it's 4 bars, right? Oh, it's not 4. It's only 2. That's right. So I gotta go back in, hit the minus. This one's only 2, but this one's set to 4. So because I have them on the same track, I'm gonna have to set it to 4 so that that one plays all the way out. Otherwise, it'll just cut it off. And then what I have to do is go into this one and then do it on the second bar. So we'll put which bar are we on right now? We're on bar 2. So if you hit here and just keep hitting, it'll cycle through the bars. So now you know you're on bar 3, right? So there's bar 3. But it's not playing the other bar. I think I accidentally took it off, so we'll hit here. Oh, you know why? Because I have it on gate mode. Make sure you put it on one shot if you do that. I had it on gate. Sorry. There we go. I can see the chat now, so if you guys have any questions or thoughts or anything you want to just say, other than things about the price. I'm kind of over hearing about prices and stuff. We already get it. Everything's high. Gas, food, cars, dental appointments, everything. So it's the world we live in, unfortunately. Now, if you don't want the metronome now, you can just turn it off. Just click it off. It's done. And then you can build everything else across that track. So you could do most of it on one track. But if you want your stuff separated, because it doesn't have stem split on tracks, you're going to have to put them on separate tracks. That's just the best way. I don't mind all my percussion being on one track. Personally, it doesn't bother me. So if I start with percussion, then I might start that way. Then if I need some more drums, let's go in here and we're gonna get some more drums. I plan on doing a sample, so I'm gonna put one shot in and I could just use some drums in here, but I'll just grab some of these jazz drums in here. What the heck is this about? There we go. I was like, where's my stuff? Punk jazz. What is punk jazz? Now I need to know. Oh, let me turn this off here. Keyboard. And we need to... oh. Hold on, I'm going to turn this off for a second. Where's the drums? Punk jazz is right there. I know I just pressed it to the keyboard. Oh, because you have to be in here to hear it. That's an interesting... I've never heard of punk jazz, but I might have to look for that now as a music title because I didn't know that was such a thing. All right, let's sample in some rims. We could do it. Should we do it on the same track? No, because then let's do it on this track here. But before we do that, we'll go here, go shift 1, and we'll add in, we'll make it a drum track. And there's nothing on it, which is good. That's the way we want it. Because we could just sample in the drums here and make it easier for ourselves. So it looks like when you do pick a drum track, it is an initial drum track. But for some reason, when it starts up, because they put drums on it, it's not blank, which is kind of weird. I think they should be the opposite. I think it should just start blank and just say it's a drum track and let me just do what I want, pick which one I want. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right, drums. All right, so got to turn this on, the sample. So we're gonna hold that, pick that one, hold it down, done. Pick this one, simple, here, hold it down, simple. Pick this one. I could do the whole thing if I wanted to, but I want those hi-hats for sure. So what I'm gonna do for the hi-hats, I think there's nothing on this one. Oops. Okay, now I have all my drums. Go back to the track. You got to set, and that's another thing. It doesn't automatically set back at 0. I wish it would. I don't know why it's saving where the octave is, but that's all right. So these, I need to put them on a choke group, right? At least these. Why is it not showing me the choke group? Oh, there. Wait, what? There you go. G. So that's a choke group. Why is it doing this? They got a few bugs, I must say. Well, there's nothing on here. I don't know what happened there. It missed the sample, or I missed the sample. That's probably a user error. All right. So we got to fix that. Let's go here. That's a user error. I either deleted it or something. This one. Here it is. Did it capture it? Let's turn the threshold down. There. I guess the threshold was too high and it wasn't picking it up. That's weird. Now it's too loud, so I'm gonna have to adjust that. All right. There you go. See how I did that? Now it's choking it out. Want that one a little louder. All right, so now we can. It didn't capture my. Oh, I see what happened. It didn't capture my little flam. Eesh. So one of the things I wish they would do is again put the copy note to note, because then I can move notes around. So if I don't want these here, I can move them down a little bit and then throw back in that flam. But I'm not about to do that right now, because then I got to go through and resample every. It don't take that long, but still, it's a pain in the butt that they couldn't just let you move notes. But whatever. All right, so I guess I will do it because I kind of wanted that in here. So that. So we shall do it again. Okay, and then we'll have to do these over because I moved them. This one will become that one, and this one will become. All right, so now I think we got them all in there. Now let's go back. This one has to be set to, again, that one's too loud. Way too loud. Okay, now we can start. So again, plug it in where you want them or playing it in. I want this one slightly in front, like nudged a little bit. And I can set the groove. So I can turn the quantize off. You guys can't see that anyway, but I'm going to turn up the groove a little bit. Around 50. All right, so obviously I don't want this ringing out all the time. So I want it to happen maybe on the fourth time around or second time around, something like that. So we'll go shift, touch this one, and then we'll tell it to, I think it's this one, step. So yeah, skip every second component. I'm gonna say skip every, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's fine. So now it should skip or skip the next one. Let's skip. And it did not do it. Hold on a second. I did something wrong. Oh, I gotta hold it down. I'm tripping. So it's blinking. Now it should do it. So we're gonna go random, and we wanted to skip this one. See if that works. I don't know why it's not skipping, but we're gonna have to figure that out. Let's see. So your samples that are longer, that are just playing in the background, they're gonna continue to play if you don't stop them. So they don't stop on the stop. You have to do it twice to get them to stop. I think they probably should fix that to where it just stops playing, but maybe there's a reason. Some people may want their samples to continue out. I don't know what that reason is. I'm still learning, so bear with me as I'm learning too. Okay, so that one's blinking. That's the one we want. Now we wanted to divide into trigs, maybe? Remove that. Let me see what that does. That's not it either. It should be parameter every second. Skip every second parameter lock. Let's see if it skips. That's so weird. I'm pretty sure this is the one, not this one, this one. Triggers, yeah. So triggers, skip every second trigger. I gotta learn how that functions, but let's try here. Okay, I see what it's doing. So what I just did was I set it to where it plays the first one, but it skips the second one. So I wanted to play on the second one, but skip the first one. So this is part of learning, right? You got to learn it. So we're touching that one. We're on the right one, but now we wanted to play on the second one, but skip the first one. So I think that's what that means. No, it's not doing it. No, no, no. All right. All right. So let's do it again. We'll get it. Maybe that's it. There you go. See, then we only have to use one bar. So what it seems to me that it's doing is you click here, okay, you touch here, and when the first light is blinking, it means it's skipping on the first one. When the second light is on, it means that's the one you want it to trigger on. So I'll just have to remember that because there's all these different combinations, and you can even do random if you want and make it do random stuff. But on this, I don't. I kind of want to. I know what I want, so I'm just trying to make it happen. Now I could have played it, and then I could have made it two bars and just played it. And that probably or put in the trigger where I want it to be. But the reason why I like this is because it's less work, I think, than just doing it the other way. So once you understand it, it is. How many people got here? About two people, just me and one other person. So again, this is all how like a beginner would do. I'm just showing you because I am a beginner in a way. So So I'll tell you why I don't usually put shift here, undo that. Why I don't usually put the kicks on the same track is because I may want the swing to be a little bit different. And if I do it this way where it's separate, it's easier to get the swing exactly the way I want. But yeah, so probably the better way then is to just go here, shift, go in and grab a drum, just go initial. So it's going to be blank and then just copy. So you can copy this track over. So you could go copy, hold this one down, paste. So now you have this one here, but you have the freedom now to create the drums as you please. So I'm going to do a 2-bar on the kick. You do have to remember to shuffle it back to where it's a 0. All right, so well, that's if you want a single step. I don't want to do that. Just take it off. Okay, so now we're going to go here, record. I messed up. So there we go. Turn the quantize off if you don't want it on each track. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to turn the groove up. I personally don't feel like I need the groove on this one. So I'm going to turn it off. And I'm actually going to redo it, this one. A quick way to clear it is hold this bar button and then clear notes. Now I can go back in. I can either punch the notes in or I can play them. But I wanted to play them, but I wanted to leave the quantize off to see how it goes. So I don't like that this note is hitting here. I'm going to take it off and put it here. Nope. All right, so that's basic stuff there. Let's go into let's do some hats. So we're going to put these on a separate one. Again, same principle. I'm going to go shift. I'm going to go here, rather shift 1. Drop in the drums. It's blank, but I'm going to copy this one over. So shift here, copy, shift here, paste. Not shift, but I'm pressing the track. I keep saying shift. What I mean, just all you do is touch the track, copy, paste. All right, cool. Now we're there. So this one I'm going to make a little bit longer just because, and there's 2 ways to make it long. I mean, first of all, let's turn this quantize off. And you could use the track scale to get more out of 1 bar, or you could just set it up to where you have just multiple bars. I'm going to do it that way just for right now, just because you can see every bar. Then if you make a mistake, if you want, it's easier, a little bit easier. Okay, play it in. Now, I like this drum to be a little soft. I mean, hi-hats. Oops. Be a little softer. All right. Let's do this down to 1 bar. And the groove up. Now I use 5 for that. I would not do that on a normal basis. I would say put your perks on 1, and then put the rest of the drums on the other 3. That's probably the better way. I'm just messing around. So let's add some more tracks with some more sounds. We're using sounds from here. Let's mess around with the radio, see what we come up with. We can get some. Now you don't hear it coming through because you got to be on a track to do that. So we're gonna have to go if we're gonna sample something. I think multi-sample is probably the better option. I was spreading it across the keyboard. Now I've never used multi-sample, or I haven't tried it really. So I'm still kind of learning all this stuff. So bear with me as I try to figure out what in the world is actually doing. Okay, go back to the track. I have no clue why it's doing this. I'm just trying it out. You can play it in reverse. Interesting, but not good enough. So I will delete that. I'm just gonna hit clear, and now it's gone. And then we'll get rid of this multi-sample because I don't really care for that because I don't know what I'm doing. So once I know what I'm doing, then I'll mess with that a little more. Let's go find another instrument. I like to use the Scrabble. Cause let's try another instrument. Let's go with Prism. Let's use the wave table. Nope, don't feel that right now. So let's go try Axis. All right, we're just gonna use preset and look for. That'll work. I'm just playing until I get something. Now, if I'm still not figuring out something, that's where this will come in. So I'm gonna go to use chord pads and hardware OP1. I think you can do this, but I don't need to even do that. What am I tripping on? All right, let's grab MIDI emitter, devices, and I'm gonna make it I'm going to go in here and then I'm going to advertise it, and it pops up over here. Wait for it to connect. And then I'm going to turn it into there. So we're good now on that. Open AUM. And then I'm going to go MIDI out to the OPX1. So I'm setting it up to go to the OPX1. I'm going to hide this for now. And then I should be able to go in here, pick some chords that I like. I just saw one say mellow soul. We'll take it. All right, cool. So if you want to, like, let's say I want this one to be, no, I want that one to be, okay, so hold that down, touch that, now it's there. Now I can close that. So I got, all right, so let's do that, let's record it in. So I'm gonna go back over to here, and I'm gonna make this scale to, let's scale it to, what do we want to do? Well, first of all, I'm gonna turn this quantize down to about 50, just a little bit. I think I'm gonna just put in 4 bars and then scale it to 4. So each bar will be 4 bars. Well, maybe not 4. Let's just do 2. So each bar will be 2. That basically doubles the length of what you have. That'll be the easier way to look at it. That way, I'll see them on different pages. Because I think I'm gonna play 8 bars. I think that's the plan. All right, so here we go. So here, press record play. It's armed. There you go. Hey, what's up, Ali Star? Crazy, we're having a good day for people. Yes, sir. What's up, brother? I messed up something. Oh, because I took that one note off? Let's re-record that because I think I got lost somewhere in there. So I'm just gonna hold that, clear all the notes on that track, and let's play it again. All right, here we go. It's a little bit better. Obviously, if I was on a keyboard, this would be even better, but whatever. For some reason, it's lingering in that last note, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. Hold on a second. Let's just not play these little single notes here. Maybe it's getting confused. So give me this here. Press and hold. Oops. Put it back to regular, and then get off of the. There, we'll just go something like that. All right, cool. Let's try it again. I still feel like it's hanging up on a note, and I'm not sure why it's doing that. Hold on, let me don't double it. No, don't do that. All right, so you can see the notes in here. I'm just trying to figure out if it's carrying a note into the next part, then yeah, it probably is why it's messing up. Maybe I should put the quantize back on for some reason because I don't know if it's carrying a note over, so it's confusing me. And we'll just re-record it with the quantize at 100% just to be safe that it's actually recording everything properly. Because unfortunately, you know what they should do, and this is my opinion, but I think they should have this thing where if I hook it to a computer or a tablet, they have an app where I could see and adjust notes if something is slightly off, would make it pretty cool. I mean, because every device has its imperfections. The good thing is, like with an MPC, you could see the notes, right? So you can go in and adjust the MIDI note if you're off on something. But I can't tell. Only I can only look at this and see what's on the actual scale here. So I don't know. Maybe that's anyway. Let's just record it again. Let's see if that works. Hold on, I'm gonna stop it. That worked pretty good. Look at the bars in here. So you can see where the MIDI is. Yeah, so I think when the quantize is off, like it was completely off, if you're a little bit off or hold a note a little too long, just like anything, right? It's gonna naturally be off a little bit. So that's all it's doing is that it's really reacting to the way I'm playing into it. And sometimes, your timing is off. It is what it is. And off is okay to be, in my opinion, to be a little off. Um, but if it's lingering into the next part of it, it could maybe cause the ears to think it's hearing something that it's not. Now, while I could play the melody on that same track, sometimes if you get too many notes on it, I think it's what, 24 polyphony or whatever. So it's like you could have up to, What does that mean? You can have up to 24 notes playing at once, but it could get really wonky because they got all these other stuff going on, and I'm not sure if it's 24 total or 24 per track. That part I'd have to look up to remember. I don't really remember it. So let's find a lead or make a lead. Hey, Allie, if you're here, I have a question for you. Allie Star. Okay. So I know you have the Osmos, yeah, the Osmos Expressive E keyboard. I'm curious on that board, how hard is it to create patches? Like, can you just press a couple buttons and it generate them for you, or do you have to like deep dive into it to really be able to make your own sounds? That's a question because I've watched a few videos, but people on videos sometimes don't explain it very well. So I'm just curious. I meant to ask you this the other day. If you're still here, if you could just type a few notes in the comments and just let me know what's your thoughts on that keyboard and how hard is it to create? Because I mean, like stuff like the ASM, that little FM1, the ASM Hydrogen, you can just press a random button and and automatically get some crazy stuff. And the same things here, where you can just press randomly. Too much delay going on. It's driving me crazy. I'm gonna turn that delay down. All right. So if you've ever seen me use this, one of my favorite things is if I forget what key I'm in, which I do it often. That's not the key. This is A flat minor or B major. So one of the things I love about tonality, I'm gonna open it in standalone just so you can see it. Is if you forget something like I just did, because I can't remember what A flat. Did I say A flat minor? Yeah, I said A flat minor, didn't I? You can just look up the scale, and now you have it. You can do that on here too. Now here's the thing. So let me show you something that they added on here. So if you've seen Brain, see how, but it's off because it doesn't know that technically it's guessing as A and it's undefined. So it doesn't know what that is, but it's actually A flat. So what I'm going to do is I can go manual and then I can punch in A, I'm sorry, A flat. And then here you can put minor. So there's your notes. So I basically told it this is what it's going to be. And now I know I don't have to come here to look at this if I don't want to. I can just be like, oh, okay, oops, stop, go back here. So it's just a kind of a quick, I think of it as a quick reference. It's all the black keys and then the E and the B, right? All right, back to this. That's the mixer. Nobody hardly talks about the pitch wheel or pitch caliber. I think it had some issues when it first came. It's working pretty good for me. I haven't had too many issues, but it's very nice to be expressive in music, especially when you're writing a melody and leads and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of cool. You can play in the stuff obviously, but you could, if you wanted to, just go start putting in some random stuff. I'm gonna turn the quantize down to half, turn the shape up, and then turn the groove. Then you could start putting in its trigs, right? So you could go shift, select all of them while they're blinking, put a random trig on it, and I'm gonna pick every 2 to 3 octaves, I guess. How many octaves do you want it to randomize through? We'll try, I'm gonna try that. Nope, don't like that. So then I'll go back. The only thing I don't like is that I have to select all of them again to do this, like if I don't like it. So I think the undo might work in that case. You could just use undo. I don't want it to go between 3 octaves. That's crazy. We'll do that one. That's fine. Maybe change the steps to space them out a little more. Back was new with the black and white guy. Oh, I thought you were talking about me. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, uh, just messing around with the step components and creating stuff using the iPad. But I was asking you, I didn't know you were gone. I was asking you a question about the Osmos uh, Expressive E. I'd like to know how hard is it to create sounds on that thing? Is it like complicated, or is it is there some type of random switch? Because like on here, this is just an example. I'm gonna erase this stuff because I really wasn't feeling it. And like I could just go in here and do this, hit the Scrabble button. I got, hold on, hit it again, and I have new sounds. SOZ, man, it's presets or, oh, it's that bad, huh? I'm not going to even bother with its editor. Oh, is that deep? Lord. Oh, so you don't really you only use presets that are there. You're not going there trying to sound design. Oh, it's rocket science? Is it that serious? Yeah. I didn't think it was, I knew, well, I heard it was, you can do some stuff with it, like really do some stuff with it. But um I'm curious to know on that one, is it they don't have a random button to like randomize certain things so that you don't have to like sit there and deep menu dive where you can get some interesting sounds? Let's use our arpeggiator. All right, so now I'm going to use this just to create something just different. So I have it going over one bar stretched to basically like 3 bars. So sometimes that's the fun part to me of this thing is exploring, trying different ways to like putting something over 3 bars where you wouldn't normally do it. You'd be like, oh no, it needs to be 4. But that's where you break free from that stereotypical do it this way and start coming up with something unique that's a little bit different. And if you notice, it just crashed. So that's been happening too. So I can't say I'm not on the fence of returning it at times because that kind of stuff frustrates me a little bit. Hope saved it properly and then I wouldn't have that trouble, but we'll see if it did or not. Okay, what'd you say? Yeah, it's every type of synthesis there is. Crazy complicated. Like it's like a modular setup, but then it formulas between mod connections. Man, that whole phrase you just said is complicated. I'm like, wait, what? I understand modular setup, but then it's formulas between mod connections. You mean mad connections? Or I'm not sure on that one. I'll have to let you explain now if you meant mad connections. It looks like it saved it. So at least it auto saved. Let's see. Yeah, at least it auto saves. Jeez, man. So for me, one of the things about this device that I love is the step components. I love the mixer. I think the compression and the oh, I didn't even talk about that. The mixer right here, obviously, this part. So compression on the master, but then you have compression on whatever. I ain't gonna put too much because it could distort it, but unwanted distortion. But then you have this is your saturator on the master, and I actually use when I'm making music on iPad and on the desktop. I use a saturator, different ones, but yeah, a saturator to kind of bring some grit into the sound so it doesn't sound so sterile. But I don't use a lot. I'm using a real small amount. And then this guy here, I'm gonna say this is an EQ, right? So these first three, I think this is the blend. This is your high. Is it high, mid, low, or low, mid, high? This is low, low, mid, high blend. So you can kind of, I think it kind of. step components. If you want to drop the drums, drop the melody. So this half of these where it splits right here is for the melody section, or that, not melody section. What am I talking about? For the, well, melodic section is what I should be saying. And then this half is for drums. So it's kind of, and what's interesting is like these two I found on the end are basically dropping out a sound. So this drops out the drums. This drops out the melody. So it's a quick way to mute out stuff, but you could obviously go up here and do shift mutes here. And then you could go in here too and start building parts. Like I want this to drop out, arrange it in here. And then if you go shift here, you can put it in song mode. So you have song mode, you have the arranger, which is all your clip view. And then you have, of course, if you don't want to do that, you can just perform it live. It definitely reminds me of Drumbo. If you ever use Drumbo on the iPad, it's for sure like a Drumbo type vibe. So I like that personally, but I do realize that when I make songs in Drumbo, I tend to live perform them out. And I mean live perform them out. Like I record it and I do all my drops live, and it's nothing that is what's the word? It's nothing that's like in a DAW where I'm cutting and slicing out parts or something. Nothing like that. So that's kind of how I use it personally. And I like that workflow. It's just different from when I'm in the DAW. When I'm in the DAW, I'm going to do whatever I want because I have all the amenities right there in front of me. I don't have to do. But this just makes me create a little bit different. And you can build parts separate. So if I wanted to, I could go into here. Hold on, here. I could make a second copy and shorten the bar length or change the kit. So on the same track, I could have 9 different things going on with different, I mean, they could be the same melody, but it could have like 9 different instruments playing it. And I could switch between the instruments by triggering it. So it's kind of crazy. Plus you have up to 9 MIDI tracks. So here's 8 of them. And then when you hit this one, you have another one. So technically, yeah. Oh, and then the tape. I didn't even go over the tape. We could do the tape. Slow it down. So you could, in theory, I guess you could sample yourself and then I'm looping out. how much you want of it in the mix. So you can put tape in the mix so that it, hold on, let's put it in the mix. So that's kind of cool with the tape. And then of course the effect, you have 2 effect slots and they have 5 effects right now. I'm hoping that they add some more effects in. I do think the reverb is good. I was saying I didn't like it at first, but I actually changed my mind after using it. The reverb's pretty good. The delay is good. Those are probably the only two I use the most out of all of them. And the rest of them are kind of like chorus and all that stuff. Yeah, not really caring. I obviously have other effects, so I can just use those and get better stuff. But when they put the sample chopping in this thing, like proper sample chopping, then it's gonna be, I think that's what's gonna take it to the next level. And people will be more interested in it, I think, because then you get a better value for your money. So that part has to happen, in my opinion, to make it worthy of having. Otherwise, it becomes just a simple step sequencer with some effects. And I think that's what makes it different from the OPZ other than just having a screen and bigger buttons. I don't know. So anyway, that's just a thought, something to think about. So yeah. If you guys got any questions, now would be the time to ask because I'm about to end the stream in a little bit. But if you got any questions, I'll be glad to answer. I think I only see one person in the chat at the moment. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and end it there. I got things to do just like probably you do too, and I don't want to hold you up. But if you have any questions, and again, appreciate everyone for stopping by. Please hit the like button for me. I appreciate the support. I mean, I don't always ask for support most of the time. Everything on this channel so far, unless I tell you otherwise, it's been bought by me. So I didn't get a discount on this or anything. It's just me. Hopefully the stream is still going. Yeah, I just saw my hand pop in the screen. It's a little delayed on my end when I'm watching it, but yeah. All right, guys, that's it for this video. OPXY, little use over here. I will say there is other ways to use this. In other words, what I mean by that is if you want, each channel could be a MIDI channel. So here's something here. If I go shift 1, I will say this again, you can make it a MIDI channel and put it on channel 1. And now, well, let me delete this one here and remove. Well, I guess I could have left it. You can use it as a MIDI controller too. So let's say you have something in here you want to use. Currently, you can jam with it pretty much. Or if you're in a DAW, you can record your stuff. You can record it in here too, technically. But so there you go. Oops. I forget I have this Bluetooth thing. I don't know if I think I showed it on the last one, but I never did it with the iPad. So you guys there. I don't see anybody. Looks like we lost it. I'm just going to go ahead and end it. If you guys hear me now, I'm just going to end it. We lost connection somehow, and